Hi, I'm Marley Helton, graduating from St.Vincent Pallotti High School, and I'll be attending Eastern Michigan University in the fall.
Marley, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good.
Good to hear, good to hear. I'm good.
So your high school experience isn't the same as most people. You were a three-sport athlete, ended up with a 4.4 GPA, which is phenomenal. And we'll get to that academic accolades and athletic accolades later. What's your time management like?
Time management wise, I try to get a lot of my stuff done during the day. So like if I'm in a class that I might have finished all the work for it, I'll try to get ahead. I like to be productive. I like to have a busy schedule because it keeps me busy and allows me not to like stray away from that schedule. So, like I said, I like to try to get it done during the day if I can, as soon as I get home, just to get it out the way. So, yeah.
That's not bad. And then you have three sports. So you play soccer, basketball, lacrosse. I'm gonna ask you this. I know what shirt you're wearing right now, but of those three sports, what's your favorite sport?
Basketball.
Basketball. Why basketball?
Basketball is my favorite just because I just love basketball. I've grown up around basketball my whole life. I love watching women's basketball. I love like dissecting it. Like I just love basketball. I don't really know how to like put it into words, but the aggression, the competitiveness of basketball, like I just love it more than soccer and lacrosse.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, but you're going to Eastern Michigan for lacrosse. How do you feel? Did you anticipate that? Was that something that just came up, or?
It's not really something I anticipated. I started playing lacrosse in third grade, and my dad kind of just threw me into it just because he always taught me and my brother to have multiple irons in the fire or something like that. I forgot how the saying goes, but just like make sure you have multiple crafts that you're working on. And I was always pretty good at lacrosse. It always came pretty naturally. It just wasn't something I necessarily loved doing. I always kind of thought of it as more of a chore. But as I got older, like I started falling in love with it more and more, and just like the environment, the people around me, as well as just the game itself. I still definitely hold basketball like above it, but yeah, it's definitely not something I anticipated or planned on doing in college.
Okay. So for lacrosse, 4 times all conference IAM. We'll go into the rest later, but you talk about your competitive nature. Is it something from basketball that transferred over, or is that natural, or is it because you have a little brother? Just that way. So what is it?
I think I'm naturally just competitive. I think I've been competitive all my life, like no matter what I'm doing. Like I remember being in elementary school and like having crossword puzzles and seeing who can do it the fastest, or like racing to see who can get to the bathroom. Like I'm just a competitive person, so I don't think it necessarily translated from basketball. That's just how I've been my whole life. So it kind of just came naturally. I like to win. I like to be a winner. So, yeah.
True. And you're a leader too. So I know for basketball, you were captain 3 years.
2 years.
2 years. How many years for soccer and lacrosse were you captain?
Soccer 3 years, lacrosse all 4 years.
All 4 years. So does leadership for you again come naturally, or was that taught to you? Do you feel like leaders are born, or can they be made?
I feel like leaders can be made, but they also can be born. I think I've always just been a leader growing up. My mom says I'm kind of bossy, but I don't think I am. I just know like I like things done a certain way. And I feel like a lot of times I'm just put in predicaments where it's like if no one else is going to speak up and say something, like I don't mind being that person to speak up and say something, especially because like I said, I like things to be done a certain way. So if I have the opportunity to lead, then I won't hesitate to jump on that. But I don't go out of my way to be a leader, if that makes sense. Like the role oftentimes just gets placed into my hands, and it's just not something I shy away from.
Gotcha. Okay. So I know I'm gonna go back to like one of the first times I met you. I think I know we're in the classroom, I know we're in the AV room, and for some reason you came up to me, you asked me if I was a Christian, and I said, yeah, and you're like, cool. Now, out of all of the students I've seen, a lot have professions of faith, but I see you walking. Now, did you have to learn that? Were you always comfortable with that, or what?
I think I was always pretty comfortable with it. I've grown up in the church. I'm a non-denominational Christian. I think our church is non-denominational. But it's just something I've grown up in. I've grown up going to Sunday school, Bible school, like over the summer and all that jazz. Um, and yeah, I just know like I couldn't be where I am without God. I think I'm very vocal about that because it's nothing I would like hide away from. You know what I'm saying? And one thing my dad has always taught me is just like when someone meets you, the first thing you want them to know about you is that you're a Christian. Like no matter like my gender, my sexual preference, my race, like nothing about that. When you first meet someone, you should like I feel like that's what you should show that you're a Christian, show that you're a person of faith. And so that's what I try to strive in. That's what I try to do day to day life. I think that's another one of my leadership components is because I'm a Christian and I know that's one thing like Jesus and God has taught us to do is lead the way for others. And so that's what I try to do. So, yeah.
So that was a sermon.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna make that a little sermon snippet just so you know ahead of time. You graduated with a 4.4 GPA, which is wow, it looks like a gas price. But I'm gonna read down your academic accomplishments. Principal's Honor Roll all 4 years, National Honor Society, American Legion Citizenship Award, 2024 Academic Department Award, Mathematics, Calculus, President's Education Awards Program, President's Volunteer Service Award, State of Maryland Scholarship Achievement, Pallotti Volunteer Service Award. Does academics just run in your family, or do you just have fun learning?
I wouldn't want to say it runs in my, I mean, it runs, I mean, people are smart in my family, of course. But, from a young age, my parents always just told me to get good grades. And so I think that's also just the competitiveness in me because, like, I want to have the best grades, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to brag on myself or anything like that, but it's just, like, knowing deep down, like, I'm smarter than you. Like, I just enjoy I enjoy that. But school, I would say school comes pretty easily to me, but not because of academics. Like, I don't think I'm always the smartest person in the room, but I do think I'm a systems kind of person, and I think I've learned the education system enough where I can maneuver and make sure that I'm like, I don't want to say make sure I'm on top, but essentially make sure I'm on top so I can balance my way through where I know what to do to get what grades. So yeah, I think I also think my mom said that's why she thinks college is going to be well for me because that's also just another system. And as long as I learn the system, I know how to guide myself through it, then I should be okay. So I think that's pretty much what it is. Not necessarily like, oh, you're super smart, but just like I've learned how to maneuver my way through so that way I can land on top, essentially. But yeah.
Okay. Final question. If you could describe, let's go with lacrosse first. If you could describe your lacrosse game as a genre of music, what would it be?
That's a good question. I've never heard that question before. You said my style of play in lacrosse as a genre. I would say rock and roll, just because like I feel like I mostly listen to like hip hop and R&B, but I want to say rock and roll because I feel like rock and roll is very like loud and exciting and out there, and I feel like that's how I play. Like if you see me on the lacrosse field, it's very different than how I look on a basketball court or on the soccer field, just because I'm a leader and I love to win so much. So like I feel like that gets brought out of me a lot on the lacrosse field, so it can be kind of loud and unexpected and fun, kind of like how rock and roll is, and kind of just uncontrolled. I like to talk trash in lacrosse too, which I don't really do in my other sports, just because I think 'cause I'm most comfortable in lacrosse. So I know like I like to talk trash here and there, get the people going. So yeah, that's why I would say rock and roll because it's very loud and out there, and I feel like my game and style of play is very loud and out there and rough and fast, like rock and roll.
Any certain band or?
Oh no, I don't listen to rock and roll like that. I just know what rock and roll sounds like.
So in comparison, you said soccer and basketball is different.
Mm-hmm.
What are those two genres?
I feel like basketball is more of a hip hop, just because I think I'm connecting it with like culture wise, how hip hop and basketball all kind of come together. So that's why I think I would say hip hop. And then for soccer, I think I want to say neo soul, but that's really just because like I like the vibe of neo soul, like that word. I like that word, so I think I would relate that to the game of soccer. Even though I don't really listen to neo soul like that, I do every now and then, but yeah, I would relate that to soccer.
Okay. Well, actually, let me go to. We got a message from one of your coaches. So we asked them one thing they would say about you. She said, this is Coach Rashida, she said, Marley is a natural born leader, someone who walks in faith and is consistently thinking of others, the most reliable young person I know. I think that's accurate or?
Well, first, I think that's really sweet. I do think I think that's pretty accurate. I try to be very selfless. One of my biggest things that I try to do every day is just treat people how you want to be treated. I think that's why the way I come off is the way I come off because I know when I'm in a space, I want to feel comfortable. I want to make sure I can have fun in that space. So I try to make that space comfortable for everyone else too. I try to put I'm known in my family at least for putting others before me just because seeing other people smile like that makes me happy. So even if it's something little like for prom, I made a lot of people's prom proposals and I know I wanted a prom proposal. I didn't get one, but I enjoyed seeing other people happy. My parents were like, Marley, you need to charge them for that. What do. But I'm like, as long as they're happy, like I'm okay. Like I'm happy too. I know a lot of times with my teammates, like seeing them succeed, like that made me really happy junior year. Like seeing my best friend Gabby get her offers, seeing Sydney get her offers, like that really made me feel good. Just seeing that they were so happy. So I try to be selfless. Like I said, I try to treat people how I want to be treated. I would want that same support given to me as I give to them. So I think that's pretty accurate of what she said.
So if you could give one piece of advice to any young person coming up in high school that want to be successful in academics and sports, what advice would you give
I think trust God would be my biggest piece of advice. And if you're not a person of faith, get to know God. And if you don't want to do that either, trust the people around you. Trust that they'll put you in the position you need to be put in. Growing up, at least in high school, it can be conflicting times, especially this day and age with social media, with the politics around sports. Like it's very easy to get down on yourself. It's very easy to get in your head or think you're not worthy or something. So I think trust is the biggest component. Me being a person of faith, like I'm always gonna put my trust in God, just because I know like I don't know what the future lies for me, but I know He does. So I just have to put my pride aside, put my thinking aside, and trust Him, and trust that He knows He has what's my best interest in heart. So I would say that to someone else too. Just trust the people around you, trust God, and you'll be okay.
Well, Marley, thank you.
Welcome.
And good luck at Eastern Michigan.
Thanks. I'm Marley Helton, and you're locked in with TXTH, where our lives speak volumes.